Hi there, Doug Stuman with a storage server from Tyan. The 2U Tyan Transport SX TS70B8056, and even more specifically within that family, the B8056 T70V8E6HR. I'll be honest with you, I had to look up that last Tyan Transport SX server I did just to make sure I wasn't doing the same system. But that one had a different alphanumeric string after the first 4 characters. This one supports a single AMD EPYC 9004 series CPU and up to 3 terabytes of memory with 12 3.5-inch bays up front and 2 more bays in back as an option. There is another in this family as well, also with a single AMD EPYC 9004 series CPU, the B8056 T70V8E6HR-2T. The only difference being the addition of dual 10 gigabit base T ports integrated with the motherboard. As a result, the motherboard on these systems is slightly different. This one does not have integrated LAN ports. Aside from that, same. To further confuse the issue, the chassis is the TS70 and the motherboard the S8056 GME. I think the B in the full name is for the board, but could be a shortened version of motherboard. I'm not sure if this holds up, but let's move on before this really goes south. The front of the system has 12 3.5-inch storage bays, which are color-coded. All bays can be outfitted with either SAS or SATA drive formats. However, those bays with the light blue drive tray release tabs indicate support for optional NVMe U.2 hot swap drives. The dark blue bays can support either SATA or SAS drive types. 2 2.5-inch drive bays in back also support NVMe U.2 drive formats. There are also 2 PCIe Gen 4 slots on the system board that can be outfitted with M.2 drives and used to support the OS and a mirrored RAID for redundancy. A good thing if this system is going into a data center or for cloud applications. The left server ear has 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, while the right server ear has the power on button, ID button, reset button, and then a few LEDs for LAN 1 and LAN 2, ID, warning LED, and HDD LED. Are you interested in this Tyan storage server? You know, that one. And don't make me repeat the name. If you are, then for a limited time you can save up to $500 off the purchase price of a system listed on our site or one that you can configure using our configurator program. Click that link for more information, and when you're ready to make a purchase, just mention this video. We carry all sorts of servers, storage, appliances, and workstations from Tyan, and others, so you don't have to be shy. Go to itcreations.com and take a look around. On the back of the system, you'll see those 2.5-inch drive bays I talked about, or at least the cover plate, which have an NVMe backplane to support NVMe U.2 drives. Alongside those, PSUs 1 and 2 with a 1200-watt 80-plus platinum power rating, then an RJ45 management port, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, a VGA port, and serial port below that. Right there is where you'll find the 10 gigabit Ethernet ports for network connections featured on the other chassis. Here we just have some miniature cover plates. A little further down the system, ID button and LED ID light. Then a cover for an OCP card with a few PCI slot covers above that. The single MLAN port is common to both platforms. That management port or MLAN port provides access to the ASPEED AST2600 baseboard management controller for at-chassis and remote management of the system. The BMC is IPMI 2.0 compliant for use with other third-party management tools. Tyan Server Management Software Plus 2.0 provides in-band and out-of-band access to Tyan servers. It features a user interface supported by most browsers to manage and monitor the system and provides remote access. It can help manage multiple servers, group similarly outfitted servers, track assets, and provide alerts, just to name a few capabilities. Inside the chassis, the single socket supports an AMD EPYC 9004 series processor with a configurable thermal design power rating of up to 400 watts. That includes CPUs with up to 96 physical cores and 192 virtual threads for some truly impressive performance with a single processor system. Of course, if you don't need all those cores, at the low end there are 16-core versions and several other core counts in between. The AMD EPYC 9004 series processors, codenamed Genoa, are a definite improvement over the 3rd generation AMD EPYC CPUs, codenamed Naples. They feature 12 memory channels instead of just 8, for support of even more memory and DDR5 memory at that. The CPU is in charge of 24 DDR5 DIMM slots total, and with 12 memory channels, that means 2 DIMMs per channel if necessary. Only registered DIMMs or 3DSR DIMMs are supported on the system for a total capacity of up to 3 terabytes of memory. Memory speeds of up to 4800 megahertz are supported using either a single DIMM per memory channel or 2 DIMMs. However, other memory speeds are supported. As I mentioned earlier, towards the back of the system there are two PCIe Gen 4 slots for optional NVMe M.2 drives. Those drives are stacked one on top of the other. Installed over those slots, the pre-installed Tyan riser supports two PCIe 5.0 by 16 slots and a by 8 slot. Contrary to CPUs, which often just provide fairly reasonable increase in performance over the previous generation, every new PCIe generation doubles the performance. PCIe 5.0 offers twice the throughput compared to PCIe 4.0, which offers twice the performance of PCIe 3.0. The 4th Gen CPU provides 128 PCIe 5.0 lanes plus 8 PCIe 3.0 lanes as a bonus, so plenty of bandwidth for a number of expansion options. For a bandwidth comparison, if it was PCIe 4.0 instead of PCIe 5.0, it would be like getting 256 PCIe 4.0 lanes. A dedicated PCIe 5.0 connector is used for an OCP 3.0 card, which is easily accessible from the back of the server and installed by removing the cover plate and sliding the card in. The OCP card provides options for I/O bandwidth and ports, depending on which one you choose. That will save those 3 PCIe slots for other things. And since it is a storage server, perhaps a few high-speed network cards or a host bus adapter card to share the storage with another system. Options, options. That's about it for the Tyan Transport SX B8056 T70V8E6HR. This highly adaptable storage server offers a great deal of flexibility for storage options and expansion. It may not have the 10 gigabit Ethernet ports, but there are plenty of PCIe slots, not to mention that OCP card slot. The AMD EPYC 9004 series CPU delivers some impressive core counts, but even beyond that, some impressive performance for a number of applications, and all with just a single processor. The 9004 series CPUs compared to the 3rd generation Intel Xeon Scalable processors, codenamed Ice Lake, even with a dual processor configuration, can't provide as many cores at 40 cores each compared to a single AMD EPYC at up to 96 cores. Now that 4th generation Intel Xeon Scalable Sapphire Rapids is available, perhaps the gap might be narrowing, but still only 60 cores max per CPU with that generation. But cores aren't everything. If you have any questions on this server, place them in the comments section below. I added a few links in the description and a few right there for more information on this platform, or just visit itcreations.com for proper browsing. Until next time, I'm Stuman with IT Creations. Thanks for watching.